Today we are reviewing the SH MonsterArts Mecha King Ghidorah Shinjuku Decisive Battle Special Set. Let's not waste any time, dive right in, and look at this beautiful SH MonsterArts re-release. I've got to admit, the heads are very excellent looking on this figure, although the teeth are a little large, so the mouths can't close, so that's a little odd. The chest plate here is looking excellent. Besides that, hatch glass not being painted, that's a little awkward. These little fins here are die cast, so they got a little bit of weight, and they've got that little extra detail on them. The leg gauntlets are not die cast, they're just a plastic. One of the very nice looking things on this figure though that take it away is these wings. I'm absolutely impressed by the texturing, and the paint job on the back of the wing isn't really that bad, although it's not like most of the Bandai figures where it has a ton of black wash on it, but I think that's okay. Detail on the back of the chest mechanical bit is very nice, although admittingly a little plain. The tips of the tail are very nice. They have that red there in the middle, and they're the same silver as the rest of the main body. These absolutely long, beautiful tails are one of my favorite parts of this figure. You can get these tails in almost really any pose that you like, and we'll show that off a little bit later. But the paint is consistent, although a few of the pieces seem to get stuck with the paint drying. You'll just have to crack it. Of course, because this figure is articulated, we can get it into a beautiful flying pose, and I've got to admit, this is one thing I really like with this figure, and I just wish it came with a custom stand to be able to hold it in this flying pose. Here it is next to the 91 Shinjuku Decisive Battle Godzilla, and I gotta say, these two look very nice next to each other. Here it is in a more side-by-side comparison, and we've got the Godzilla 2024 with it as well. Here it is with the Shinkoho Seiho Ultraman V2 Gaia and the SH MonsterArts Shin Godzilla Awakening. I wonder why. Here it is with some Showa figures with the Godzilla 1972 and Jet Jaguar 73. Very nice. Of course, here's a few regular Bandais that you might have: Shin Awakening and the Godzilla -1. Accessories wise, I am absolutely in love with these damaged wings. I think these are the huge selling point, even if you have the first one, which I didn't have either of the Ghidorahs. So this being my first one, this was a huge bonus. These wings look gorgeous. I love the way that they look on the figure, and just the fact that they're see-through as well. Here, we're gonna take this off. Remember to grab at the base, wait till you hear the pop, and then you know you're all good. Once again, I want to reiterate this. When moving this, I recommend flattening out the wing, grabbing at the base there, holding the figure, and wait until the pop happens. Here we can kind of see the inside of the wing, and here's the joint, so you know which side it is. Once again, you're going to push it until, and you got it once you hear that pop. It is a little scary your first few times, but I promise as long as you don't do this too much, the wing should be durable, and you just gotta love that pop. One thing with this wing, oddly enough, they seem to be a little droopy. Once you get it stuck in a pose, they kind of hold, and of course, it's just looking badass. I've got to admit, this is the way I always wanted to display Mecha King Ghidorah, and thankfully Tamashii Nations made it possible. It's a beautiful looking figure with this battle damage wings, and I'm just very pleased with it. Here, we're going to go over all 5 of the mechanic hook parts that go along with this figure for the Capture Godzilla attack mode. The Power Claw, I think? I can't remember its name. So, there's 2 medium claws. These are for the legs of Godzilla, and here in a second I'll show off the small ones, which are used for the arms. Oh, super cool. The claws open and close, and we've got a beautiful bendy wire. Now, this monstrosity is the stand that they do recommend using for each of the claws, although, as I show later, You really only need to use the middle arm to hold up the big claw. But if you want to use the other ones, here's a tutorial on how to do it. Once again, do what you're comfortable with. I just think that if you're going to be posing it, especially attached to Godzilla, the smaller claws don't need it. You just got to hold up that middle heavy claw, which also happens to have a little bit of die-cast on it. Funny enough. Always remember that when you're putting it in as well, that you make sure that the hole for the Tamashii stage is facing down. And I gotta say, once it's all set up, it does look excellent. It's very vibrant, I guess. It's a huge space taker. These are very long, but you get your Godzilla attached to it, and I just think this is one of the absolute coolest parts about this figure. It's beautiful, it's large, and it's gonna eat your shelf up. Undeniably. Now, instead of telling you every little single thing on this articulation, I'm just going to talk about the articulation while it's going on behind me, basically. This figure has some issues. As we're about to see, the mechanical head is very limited because they kept all the bottom of the neck pieces solid instead of either overlapping or sawing it off a little bit to curve it so it can move around a little bit more. This jaw also, for some reason, won't fully open. It just curves or goes right back to where it is. It kind of sucks, admittingly, this middle head, and it's really disappointing seeing as you want these heads to be articulate. The gold ones are fine, but the middle one isn't. The waist joint actually is kind of surprisingly well-rounded. You can get some interesting poses out of it and add a little bit more huzzah to your Ghidorah. The legs also pretty damn limited, I'm gonna be honest. The only things that really aren't limited are the golden heads, the golden tail, and the wings. And it kind of is a little bit disappointing, admittingly. It's not too bad, but I do wish, as they were planning this reissue, that they would have went in and resculpted a few of the pieces just to make them a little bit more articulate. Even the ankles can't go up, so it's like you can't even get it kind of lunging forward. It's kind of always based in this wide stance, and it's just kind of sad because the tails can pose magnificently. Look at how far down they go. They can go really far up. They can go really out to the side. They can do basically whatever you want. And I'm disappointed a little bit that they didn't upgrade the articulation and then increase the price of it. So, my final thoughts for the SH MonsterArts Mecha King Ghidorah Shinjuku Decisive Battle Special set. I'm overall very pleased with this set, even with a little bit of the markup. I had a lot of fun posing this figure and just sitting here kind of playing around with it, and I definitely do recommend picking it up, as it's kind of getting hard to find. And once it's into the aftermarket, you guys know it's probably going to be up there, back up over $600. And this is definitely worth it, even with some of the limited articulation and just kind of stuck joints from the paint. Anyways, hope you guys enjoyed, and I'll see you all in the next review.